Subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. A voice is coming. A murderer, that's what you are! You get angry because a rain cloud pours down rain, and complain because the sun is bright. You say foxes are monsters because we eat human livers. What do you want us to do? You tried to exterminate our whole race just because a single human died. Killing that many wasn't enough for you, and now you're trying to kill me as well. A man raised his hand and said, a fox with 8 tails, that will soon have 9 tails. A fox marble that is said to appear the day a fox grows its 9th tail. And the fox that will give me that fox marble, that is said to be able to grant any wish. The man raised his hand again and said, I don't care how much you resent or curse me. I will cut up your body and take your fox marble, no matter what happens. And with it, I will revive Jumlai. A woman said, if that woman comes back to life, I hope she'll learn about everything you've done. I hope she's disgusted with you, and afraid of you. The woman continued, then you will only have your own bloodied hands to hold while you watch that woman run away. I am fine with that. Dated is 1942, the man thought. Humans, why do they always think they're the main character? She asked. Thank you for saving me, the man thought. I wasn't trying to save you. You're mistaken. The man killed another man. The only reason why he killed that human was because his gang was trying to catch the tiger that resides nearby. Though it seemed they were trying to catch this young human instead of the tiger today, the man killed her and thought, it'll be bothersome if his gang finds the body, so let's throw it off a cliff. Then it shall appear as an accident. So even if the body is found, it will not cause any problems. She clenched her hand and asked, excuse me. Do you live here? I'm alive thanks to you. It was rumored that somebody was kidnapping people, but I wasn't sure. Wait, I want to return the favor. If I come here, can I meet you again? The man said while dragging the girl, covered in blood. I only came here to catch the tiger murderer. If this man stuck to human trafficking, whether he was playing the drums or a jangu, or kidnapped 100 or 1,000 humans in this mountain, it wouldn't have been any of my business. And if you're thankful, go home quickly and don't ever speak of me, the girl said, grabbing his clothes from behind. Then, at least tell me your name. The man started running after hearing the girl. A woman said, he left. Ha! Another man clenched her hair. She said, stop. I can't get angry. Nothing will change even if I get angry and complain. I don't hate my house. Rather, I love it. However, there is such a thing as being resigned to one's lot in life. What did I resign myself to, you ask? She cried and said, help me. The man clenched his hand and said, let go. Shut up. That morning, I was climbing the mountain to be alone for a while, when I was captured by a strange man. The man said while dragging the girl, stay still if you don't want to die here. Strangely, my initial thought was, I knew something like this would happen. It's not that surprising for a poor Josian girl to inevitably end up like this. Whether being resigned to one's fate is a mindset born to a powerless Josian girl, or if it's engraved upon her like a scar as she lives through such experiences time and time again, rather than accumulating karma by living a long life and reincarnating as a poor Josian girl once more. Perhaps it was best to just give up and die right now and be reborn as a rich family's dog. In my next life, gasp. The man threw him off the rope and onto the ground. A woman asked, why are you still so full of energy at this hour? Go to sleep. Ha, the woman asked again. At least tell me your name. She thought, he must have dropped it then. He was a very pretty person. He probably isn't human, but whatever. It's my first time seeing eyes like that. How can they be so transparent? Could this be something important? If he finds out that it's gone, will he come for me? She thinking, I must be insane to think of stealing it. Why did I do such a thing? It's gotten late. Let's head back inside. The man clenched his clothes and said, where did you hide it? You thief, she asked. I knew you would come, the man asked. The man's name is Lee. He said, be quiet and return what you stole. The woman's name is Mari. She said, I can't. It's no use. It won't just come out. If you help me with something, I'll give it back to you right away, Lee said. Are you joking? There's a limit to how shameless you can be. Though I didn't mean to save you, at the end of the day I did, Lee angrily said. Repaying the favor wouldn't have been enough, yet you even stole what is mine, and now ask me to heed your request to get it back. Why are you doing this to me? Mari reacts. Lee said. Whatever. I'd rather yield than argue with a human. What do you need my help for? You want me to pull weeds? Mari replied. Lee said. Do you think I'm blind? This is clearly an abandoned field, she replied. Yeah, Mari asked. I'm going to pull them with you, Lee said. Why are you doing this? She replied. Mari said. Why are you tormenting me so? Mari replied. I'm not tormenting you. Hurry up and get started, Lee thinking. Isn't she tired? Why is she smiling? I've heard of humans who enjoy pain, the perverted kind. She's 900D. Mari shows him the necklace in his hand. Here. I'm sorry for tormenting you, Lee said. At least you know. Mari bowed her head respectfully and said, It was the only way, time with you. What? I couldn't hear you, Lee said. This was the only way I could think of spending more time with you, Mari asked. While also getting some housework done out of it, of course. Sorry. Hey. Do goblins need maidservants or anything? Lee asked. Maidservants? Maid Mari said. I don't need money. As long as you feed me, I can clean, cook, and also make some small technical repairs. I'm pretty good with tools despite how I look, Sir Lee said. I'm not interested, Maid Mari replied. Okay. Is there really no way for me to see you again? Do you know of the Candlestick Rock? Mari said. The one at the top of Samsenbong Peak. I've never seen it myself though, so you do know. It's much bigger than you'd think. You'll see it once you go there, but it leans out towards a cliff. On the middle of that cliff, 2 pine trees grow. Once you climb to the top of the Candlestick Rock and look down, you can see a space bordered by the cliffside and the intersecting pine trees. Okay. Jump down there. Ha! Jump into that space. Ha! This youngling must be disappointed. Did you think it would be easy to enter the other world? Not a chance. Climb Samsenbong Peak, go to the top of the Candlestick Rock, and jump off the precipice. Lee asked. That's how you can come see me? Of course, this was a lie, Lee said. What other world? Even if she did jump, she'd just hit the cliffside and meet her end. A fitting end for an idiot. Her body would be fodder for the birds and insects. Not that I wish for this human youngling to die. I already know she doesn't have the courage to jump. Goodbye now, youngling. Jump down there. To Jumlai, those words were more of an order than an instruction to follow. Girl asked. Hungry? Boy asked. There's no food again today. Wah. Jump down there, Mari thinking. I have to finish this by tomorrow. I guess I won't get much sleep today either. Jump down there, she climbed. They say Japanese soldiers are coming to take away even our brassware. Take all the ironware in the house and go hide in the mountains. She told herself like a mantra that she could endure, that she could run away at any time if enduring became too difficult. So she was all right. Jumlai, man said, your marriage has been decided. It's Sango from the neighboring village. You've run into him before, so you recognize him, right? Mari replied. I didn't even know what your father looked like before I married him, woman replied. So you're lucky to have a familiar husband whose household has money. You won't have to starve anymore. Everything worked out well, isn't that right? Mari asked. Why would a wealthy family pick me? Man asked. That's, well, you're known for being very sincere. Woman asked Mari. That's right, what more could anyone ask for in a new in-law than someone who's healthy and sincere? Man asked. Right? The next day, Mari thinking. I came here to look around the village I'll be living in, but I guess it was pointless. What is looking around going to do? Once both families reach an agreement, it's sealed in stone. Sitting on the bank of a river, she said to herself. Let's go back. Oh dear, an unfamiliar child? Woman 1 asked. Where did this child come from? Woman 2 said. Did you get hurt? Why are you sitting there like that? Woman 3 said. Are you lost? Mari thinking. Oh no. I missed the timing to tell them I'm marrying into a family in this village. She ended up helping them wash clothes. A voice is coming. Oh, right. Did you hear that Sango got a bride? Mari thinking. They're talking about me. TSK. I wonder which young lady was so unfortunate as to get picked? Women whispering. She'll be shocked if she was raised gently. Gosh, he may get drunk and beat people. But would he beat his own wife? Oh my. Why are you saying something so naive? Moreover, Sango is already living with a lady in Jiangxiang. What? But his parents don't like that lady and said that they'd cut off support. So he's getting married to have a wife that'll satisfy his parents. Mari washing the cloth. Jumlai could no longer chant the spell in her head. Mari climbed up top of mountain. If I take just one more step from here, man asks, you're really stupid, aren't you? You scared me, man asks. Huh? Weren't you really going to jump off? Why are you scared? Mari said. What are you going to do if I jump wrong and miss the entrance? HHA. How did you know I was here? Man said. I attached a food spirit to you. Just in case, Mari replied. Just in case? Lee smiling and said. It was a lie. I said. Blah blah, jump off of Candlestick Rock. Wasn't it obvious? Believing those absurd words is a youngling human's prerogative, but being a goblin, on my way home the thought crossed my mind that mortals can hold grudges more spiteful than catching typhoid fever at the height of summer. They're so annoying. Man jumped up the top of mountain and said, I heard from the elders that, very occasionally, Lee asks, despite knowing it's irreversible, women, like little birds, fly, fall, and disappear into the sea. Those women are crazy. Do I look like a madwoman to you? Mari smiling. The youngling is laughing again, as if she's heard the funniest joke in the world. You said you can do many things, right? Lee asks. Take this. Mari takes the necklace. To get to my home, you must enter through a dark valley, between Three Gods Peak and Lion Peak. There's a barrier, so you'll need that trinket to show the way. I'd like to hand over my home repairs to you. Do you think you can handle it? Mari replied. Yes. Lee asks. The unfamiliar road will be confusing for you, so would you like to go now? Mari said. Yes, course, I'd love to, Ma. She thinking. A pathway I've never seen really did appear in the bamboo-forested valley between the mountains. Lee said. What's the hold-up? Do you want to keep going? She replied. Yup, Mari thinking. This is amazing. The inside of the barrier is as dark as night. I might fall down if I'm not careful, and it's spooky too. Mari said. How can such a dream world exist? Lee said. Next week, come on your own. Got it? Yeah. Mari said. Okay. A week later. You really installed it. Mari said. I am really good with my hands. Much tougher things are also a piece of cake for me. She thinking. Truthfully, I can't tell him that my hands are battered, since this is the first time I've done this level of construction. Lee said. All right. This is your wage. If it's not enough, tell me. Mari replied. Oh? Mari asks. Oh? Really? I'm getting paid for the work? Lee asks. Am I a human? Should I overwork you like a nobleman's slave? You did a good job. Truth to be told, I wasn't expecting it. Despite being a goblin, he didn't even notice the damaged hands before his eyes. But this indifference of his isn't a big deal. I will be able to avoid any unwanted marriages if I receive wages. Then, little by little, I changed the goblin's house. It's strange. I have been working in this house for a while. I did this. And this too. Mari thinking. Arg, I had a rough time this time because there was a lot of heavy stuff. But I still did it. My talent is so good that it almost scares me. Lee asks. You worked hard this time too? Mari asks. Yup, Lee said. Lee clenched her neck and said. I am sorry. I was really thoughtless. Going forward, call me if there's anything you need help with when you're working. She replied. Huh, she thinking. Did he perhaps see my hands shaking? The goblin continued to depend on Jumlai, her original name. The goblin continued to depend on Jumlai for one more thing. Then just one more, Lee said. Jumlai, look at this. These are tea cakes made by the kitchen god. Mari said. Kitchen god? Lee replied. The chestnut tree that was being raised by the kitchen god flowered after many years. One nut has many flavors. Since these were very precious, I brought them to eat together with you, Lee said. They are really pretty. Lee said. Right? Is it really alright for me to eat such precious things? Lee said. Of course. If I wait for about 30 years, I will be able to get them again. Jumlai stifled the tears that began welling up in that moment. She ate the kitchen god's tea cakes in one bite. Really tasty. They're tasty. Happiness, fluttery anticipation, affection. These feelings were such distant memories. About 30 years. With that one considerate phrase, Imi, the goblin, made Jumlai his equal. The expansive distance of those remembered emotions felt filled by this unusual act. Jumlai, you wanted to go to a festival, right? Would you like to go with me to the goblin's festival next lunar revel? Imi couldn't think of anything else that he needed Jumlai's help with. Lee said. She asks. I cannot possibly live deep in the mountains. I'm sure that I'd be lonely. Lee replied. You don't have to come live in my world. I will come to your world. Mari said. How are you going to live in a human village? Your sharp canine teeth will tell people that you're a wild, overbearing mountain goblin, Mr. Lee replied. Mari said, Your moon-bright irises will tell people that you're a wild, overbearing mountain goblin. We can just say that the heavens used all the black they had to paint your ebony hair, and so they didn't have enough left to use on me. How can you live with me? I'll eventually age and die, and you'll be left all alone. She asks, How? How can I live with you? The more beautiful our memories, the more hurt you'll be. Where there is happiness, there will also be sadness. I've lived long enough to accept this principle of the world. Because of you, I knew one day I would become very sad. Therefore, grant me the honor of living with you and sending you off. Then, please be as happy when I eventually leave as when we are happily living together, Lee said. I solemnly swear, I will cherish this promise. That is how Aimee and Jumlai left the mountain and the hometown they grew up in. 1958, 1951. The house that Aimee and Jumlai settled in after eloping. A few days earlier, Mari said, Our 15th anniversary, I can't believe. It's been 15 years, Lee said. Yet it still feels like yesterday when I first met you, Mari said. I feel the same. Time has flown by in an instant, Mr. Lee said. Really? That's a relief, Mari said. Oh my, look at the time, she thinking. I'm going to be late for work. Wifey, man said. If you can wait a moment, do you want me to take you? Isn't your tool bag heavy? Woman asked. Old man. You're just trying to skip work because the restaurant has a group reservation today. After the war, Aimee started working at a restaurant in town. Man asked. No, Mari said. Really? Do you want to come then? All the upper village older ladies need house repairs. Villagers talking. Let me go. My throat hurts. You have so many stories even though you're so young. How great. I'm dying. This is embarrassing. Shush. Stay still. We have a lot more kimchi to prepare, so keep talking. You shouldn't feel embarrassed but honored. That's right. Do you think just anyone could model for our painting club? You and your wife are like my younger siblings, so I'm giving this to you. This is supposed to be really good for men. Man bowed respectfully and said, Have a pleasant time. You're right. I have to go to work. I'll see you later, she thinking. It seems like those old ladies are no joke, she thinking. What's that? Woman asked. Excuse me, can you hear me? Woman thinking to herself. They're not human. A yokai? A spiritual beast? What could have done something like this? What if the attacker is still nearby? It won't come loose. It's too tight. There is only a remote road between the two villages, so trying to get help is out of the question. We'll just have to go in the direction closest to one of the villages, right? The man cut the rope with a knife, and the girl fell down. Old woman said after lifting her hand. Hey, please get up. We have to hurry and make a run for it. Girl's voice. My head hurts, woman said. You're awake. There's no time to be complaining about a headache. Stand up. It's dangerous around here, so let's hurry and get to the village, girl said. Wait a second, my head is spinning right now, woman replied. Oh, sorry, girl asked. It's not your fault. You're not the one who hit my head, so why are you sorry? Now I feel a bit better, girl said. Just so you know, I won't go to the human village. Don't worry about me, woman replied. What? I can't leave you. What if you get attacked again? Girl said. They won't come again. I was interfering with the hunt, so that's how I got there. They should have already started by now anyway, so there's no reason to tie me up again, woman said. Really? Thinking. I have no idea what she's saying right now. Girl thinking. But the same can't be said for you, woman said. But the same can't be said for you, girl said. Do you know how to fight? Woman asked. I have my tools, girl laughing said. What a kind human you are. Forget it, you'd regret staying with me. So we have to part ways right now. I'll quickly get out of your sight, so thanks for helping me, she thinking. Is it okay to send her off like this? But if the attackers were not human either, I probably wouldn't be able to do much, girl said. Oh, and one more thing. It would be best if you didn't go to the village, woman asked. Which village are you talking about, woman? Her name is Mari said. I'm exactly between my village and the upper village, Mari laughing. That's right, I'll just let fate decide which village it is, she thinking. It was an uphill battle, but I managed to feed that group of hungry students. I came out victorious, Mr. Lee thinking. I can't wait to tell Jumlai all about it. I mean, Counting money is pretty addictive these days. While I don't know much about human money in itself, it's lots of fun to save money so I can buy things together with Junlai. Are they foxes? Powerful foxes too. Mum, what's going on? What happened? Oh, my baby. We survived that terrible war, so why did things have to turn out this way? Well, I thought life would be easy from now on, but Mr. Lee, hanging on to Mari. The girl fell unconscious and Mr. Lee started shaking her face. I know it's just the way of things. I always knew I would say goodbye to you much earlier than I'd wished. But what could I do? You humans were made to live a short life. You are all like that. Even the most resilient ones leave all too soon. You live your life like a flame. That's just the way of things. The only reason we met again in the first place was because you showed up in my domain and tried to jump off a cliff. You stood at the edge of that cliff not to die, but to live. How did you have the strength? I was so quick to give up when war broke out in June. I wanted to drop everything and run back to the mountain. I had never seen such a terrible war, and I didn't wish to live in such a harsh land. Her voice, but I watched as you got back on your feet. And when you laughed, I found that I could laugh along with you. You whispered of the future once more, and I could dream again. I loved you. I really loved you. My little human, who, even if you lived a lifetime, would still be small and cute. That's just who you are. Well, that's who you were. Before you were murdered. And your life was abruptly ended by foxes. Lee hugged her and kissed her face. Aimee left the human world, in which he had promised to stay and have a future with Junlai, and returned to the mountain. He dressed Junlai in her favorite clothes and laid her in a deep cave overlooking the beautiful forest beneath. Then, from that time forth, foxes were killed one by one. Another one of us died today. Foxes are being killed every day. He's been killing us for months. Our clans will die out. 2 tails, 5 tails, 3 tails, he kills them all. Clan leader. What do we do? Clan leader, Lee thinking. What's this? Villagers loudly said. Foxes are coming. These foxes have guts to dare come into my territory. Villagers bowed. Upon coming, Lee said, I didn't know foxes banded together like this. It seems that everyone's family and friends have come from all around to die together. A woman bowed respectfully and said, Vengeful mountain goblin, I have come as the leader of our clan of foxes to offer you a proposition. I will bring your wife back to life. It's impossible to bring back the dead. How dare you spout such nonsense in front of me? Have you ever heard of the fox marble? It is a mysterious treasure that forms in the heart of a fox who has 9 tails and is able to grant any wish. There is no fox in Joseon that currently contains a fox marble, but there is one fox that will soon grow one after obtaining 1 more tail. In 60 years, on the day of the full moon in August, that fox will become a 9-tailed fox. You may make a wish by splitting her heart open and removing her marble. Then your woman will come back to life. Is 60 years such a long wait? It will be as fleeting as the 15 years I spent with Junlai, that passed like a spring breeze, Mr. Lee said. All right. In that case, if in 60 years I make my wish and Junlai does not return to life, I will hunt down and kill every fox in Joseon, no matter how long it takes. Every single one of you, even your innocent kits born after the day she died. Until not even one of you remains breathing, she replied. Agreed. Then, after leaving a cage with the goblin, the foxes quickly retreated. Mr. Lee laughing, girl said, Seems this little bitch has some spunk. As the girl started to question herself, her eyes turned yellow and she began to talk in strange ways. The witch said, Fox, you were almost killed by your mistake. Be grateful you have the ability to create a fox marble. Mr. Lee said, strangling her. That is the only reason you still live. Google caught him and put him in lockdown. Then he saw a thorn bush on the way. It is a mysterious object made by goblin craftsmanship that cannot open unless the correct key is used for the lock. Short time ago, the woman said while giving him something, I removed the 8 tails of the fox with my magic. Hide them well. She will not be able to escape without her tails. Once a fox's tails are taken away, it becomes almost impossible for them to use magic. So, she shouldn't be able to escape unless she finds a way to get her tails back. Lee replied, It's like the story of the fairy and the woodcutter. Could this be her winged clothes? TL/N. The Fairy and the Woodcutter is a Korean folktale where a woodcutter traps a fairy and forces her to stay and marry him by taking her winged clothes so she can't fly and hiding them without her knowledge. Sad tale, woman said. Also, you must take good care of your wife's body. That is, if you want your wife to come back as flesh and blood, not soil and sand. Did something strange happen? Witch crying. Does this even make sense? Why do you even have something like this in your home? The girl who went down the mountain was actually a witch. As soon as she swore an oath to Mr. Lee, she revealed herself. Witch crying and said, An underground cell? An underground cell? Does this even make sense? Why do you even have something like this in your home? Witch kicked the door and thinking, I'm so pissed off. The cell looks sloppy, but it's clearly made with goblin craftsmanship. It's basically impossible to break open from the inside. But as long as I'm stuck here, I'll have done all that work to earn my 9 taels for nothing. I won't have it. Do you think I'm just going to sit here and take it quietly? Do you think I'm just going to sit here and take it quietly? Witch started shaking the door, making loud noises, and thinking, You seriously think you can keep me in this hellhole until you get my last tael, don't you? Witch angrily said, Hee, so it begins. I'm losing all sense of time stuck in this basement. When he reached the door with the food, the witch kicked him. Witch said, Are you kidding me? Is he seriously just going to keep me locked up and not even check on me? I was dragged here against my will. She started biting the iron doors with her teeth and said, I'm sick of this place. I don't want to see it anymore. Who are you to hate me so much for no reason? Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to be treated like this and have my fox marble taken away? The witch fell down and began to think, Wow, I'm so upset that I'm dizzy. Slave said, Kick. Ouch, witch said. Oh, you can talk? Sorry, I didn't realize you were sentient. Slave said. Witch said, It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm about to eat the food he gives me anyway. So tell me what's going on above. What's that goblin up to? He can't even sleep, right? Because it's so loud? Slave said. What loud? Witch said. Me. I've been yelling, Slave said, as he took the food utensils back. It quiet above. I hear no loud. Witch react. Huh? Maybe he can't hear me because I'm in the basement. Seriously, this sucks. I've been yelling in vain this whole time. If that's the case, then I also happen to be a master of digging. 1 day. 2 days. 1 month. 2 months. Half a year. A year later, and the digging still continues. And of course, the howling continues too. 2 whole years pass like this. Then 3. After a long time, Mr. Lee went to the garden and started cutting flowers. Lee thinking, Did I hear something just now? Surely not. I must have heard wrong. In 1962, at long last, Honu's howls reached the surface. I'm going to rip out her throat so she can't make that terrible racket anymore. Just ignore it. Will return the flower cut, and thinking, I don't know why she's making such a fuss all of a sudden. Doesn't know that Honu has been howling every day ever since she was imprisoned. No doubt she'll tire herself out in a few days. I give my time to you. He started thinking while placing flowers on his girlfriend's grave. There's a magic where, if a goblin sacrifices 3 days of their life, they are able to stop the passing of time for a day. Also, you must take good care of your wife's body. That is, if you want your wife to come back as flesh and blood, not soil and sand. See you tomorrow, Jumlai. Patience, just hold it in. Little did me realize that this was just the beginning. That crazy bitch! I'm on an ocean, a calm blue ocean. Just think of this as training. So peaceful. My house is quiet and still. The goblin and the fox continued thus. I can't hear anything. It's too quiet. And wrote on the page, Lee thinking, what was that just now? Honu, trying to hit high notes, until Mr. Lee, sleeping and thinking, what is that? It sounds like it's getting closer. The witch kicked the wall with another pumpkin and then started laughing. Witch, thinking, I did it. There's no way a stupid goblin can keep me locked up underground in a cell. The witch was freed from this prison and began to say, by the way, and thinking, where am I? I need to escape before I get caught by that goblin. As the witch started to run, Mr. Lee appeared in front of her. Witch said, shit. Let me go. Let go, damn it. Drag. Are you seriously going to send me back? Do you have any idea how hard it was for me to dig my way out? Mr. Lee caught the witch while she was running, Lee said. I won't go back there even if I have to die. Witch said. Let me go, Lee said. You really are, fucking bastard. Do you think I can even grow another tail if I'm stuck in a dark, damp place where I can't see the sun, or smell the mountain streams, or even notice the passage of time? Whether it's a tail or a fox marble, I can only grow it if I obtain proper nourishment and condense my magical energy. Witch said. You'll see. From now on, I'm not going to eat and only spend my time digging, so even if you try to take my marble later, all you'll find is a tiny bead, like a dried-up fish egg. But even before that, my tails in your goblin box will probably disappear. Then what are you going to do? So go ahead. Lock me up. In 1978, Honu was not returned to the underground cell. It's been 3 months since that fox was moved above ground. It's strangely quiet after all that fuss. Lee, thinking, it's so nice and peaceful. For now, there's been no change. The witch opened the door of the lockup with both hands. Ah, wait, I lost. I won't make a fuss anymore. I'll be good and stay calm. Let me just ask you one thing. Let me see that girl's face that I'm sacrificing my life for. If I don't see it soon, it'll probably dry up and decay. So let me see it before it does. Ali walked out the door and started walking towards Pack, where his girlfriend was buried. I was a witch. I followed her footsteps. Mr. Lee stopped at his beloved's grave. Witch, thinking, I know this woman. This must be some sort of cruel joke. What the hell is she doing here? You were the woman who was killed by a fox. I told you not to go to the village. Why did you go even after I warned you? For a moment, I saw myself appealing to the goblin. Witch said. I didn't touch your human. I even warned her not to enter the village. I liked her. I'm sorry she's dead, truly. I tried to save her. You can even ask the clan leader. I'm innocent, totally innocent. I wasn't there when the others hunted humans down that day. The witch began to cry. Please believe me. There's no way I could do that. I'd rather drag my nose through the mud. If the goblin had even an ounce of humanity, he wouldn't have threatened to kill every fox in Josian in the first place. Witch, thinking, my innocence doesn't mean anything to him. There's no way I'd beg for my life like that. It'll be 40 years until I grow another tail. I'll escape on my own before then. Before that, goblin, for all you've made me suffer, I'll make you suffer twice as much. So this is the reason you wanted me to show her to you? Lee said, strangling her. Try touching her body again, and you'll wish you were dead, the witch said, clearing her throat. Lao, witch said. You call that a threat? Lee, thinking. Every day I wait in fear to be killed in vain. What's scarier than that? What pain could be worse than that? I don't care about pain. Witch, thinking. As long as I can make you suffer, I'm going to rip her head off. Mr. Chili couldn't stand it when someone laid a hand on his girlfriend, and he strangled the witch's neck in an instant. Don't do anything stupid, Lee said. This is your final warning. If you want to punish us, put us in prison again. Witch said. What's wrong with that guy? Was that supposed to be a verbal warning? I got off easier than I thought. Go ahead and threaten me 100 more times. See if I get scared. One day, I'll definitely tear those arrogant eyes out of your head. Let's just say that at this point, I'm basically just a guard for a prisoner on death row. As long as I have the talismans that prevent her from escaping, and they remain unbroken, she'll stay trapped in that room. I can just live comfortably. Surely, she won't figure a way to break out of there. It would be wisest for me not to touch those talismans again until the last day of her imprisonment. But whether it's a wise or foolish thing to do, can I really be such a cruel guard? Witch said. He's going out again. He gets to enjoy the entire outside, while I have to live in this tiny palm-sized room. Grr. Witch, thinking, something feels different? It opened. Why? There's no way he would have made a mistake like this, right? Is it a trap? Oh, I don't know. The witch touched the door and found it open. She ran out, thinking, it's only for when you have nothing to do. If I were you, I would have changed the place I'd hidden her. The witch escaped from prison and immediately reached Mr. Lee's girlfriend. Why is it? Witch, thinking, she's neither withering away nor returning to the dust from whence she came. There's a price to pay if you go against nature like this. Maybe it's eating his life away. What if the price destroys him before I grow my 9th tail? That would be hilarious. However, I don't want to wait until then. I wish for your heart to be bruised and broken forever, Goblin. Move. And if I don't, Lee said, I'm not going to stop you this time, so just back away. Witch said, really? What are you doing? Hey! What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you seriously going to lock me up in here? In here? I don't want to die. Let me go, she thinking, shit. Why am I so hot all of a sudden? What if I choke and die in here? No, I need to calm down. He's not going to let me die. Like it or not, he needs to keep me alive for my fox marble. Logically, I know that. But even though I know, being stuck in this small space is too. Let me out! Let me out right now! Hey, you bastard! Let me out! I'm suffocating. I'm running out of air. Lee thinking. The commotion she caused in the cell underground was so annoying, but this is music to my ears, which said, ugh. I'm covered in sweat. I feel sticky and damp. Damn, I'm so tired. I was screaming while I was suffocating, so I guess it makes sense. Which, thinking, you must have been pretty mad at me to put me in a place like that. You only got a tiny taste of the Honu flavor. This is just the beginning. As much as Aimee hated foxes, how much did she hate him? Rather than spending time trying to find where her 8 tails were hidden, Honu resented Aimee to the point that she much preferred to think of ways to rip him into pieces. In other words, Honu was able to put the horror of being buried alive behind her, because she'd had enough. Another day trapped in her confinement room, another month. Sure enough, Honu could wait as long as she needed to, until she could pierce that still-scarred goblin heart into a flower of blood. While waiting for the goblin to undo the confinement magic on her room and leave the house, she was patient. Why did the goblin undo the confinement spell? Honu didn't bother to figure it out. He's here again. Which thinking, why didn't he go down the mountain? And said, of course he's here. He'd have to come every day to keep her body in one piece. Which, thinking, such a dedicated lover, I feel sorry for you, human, and that it's come to this. But I can't forgive the goblin that wants to kill me and use me like some object, just to bring you back from the dead. Lee threw the witch to the ground and strangled her, which said, hey, you conniving bastard! In truth, you want me to get rid of her for you, don't you? Why else would you remove the confinement spell? You think I wouldn't notice? What kind of idiot would keep a corpse in such an obvious place, without even hiding it? You hypocritical bastard, Mr. Lee said. And why should I change the location of my sacred sanctuary, just to hide her from you? This is my territory. I can do whatever I want. Honu continued to try to destroy Jumlai's body whenever she had the chance. Lee said, are you still trying this? What did I tell you? Don't even think about trying to get rid of her body. So why does such a cruel guard unlock the door? This is the answer. The goblin's heart still burned with so much love for Jumlai, and as much as his love burned for her, so too did his hatred of foxes, which says, let me out! Let me out! I'd rather you just kill me! Let me out of here! You bastard! Do you think I'll just stop trying if you keep doing this? I'm going to rip it to shreds, Lord says. I'm going to rip that corpse to shreds. Then I'm going to rip you to shreds, Lee said. Yeah, you do that. Keep giving me reasons to keep doing what I'm doing. Because I feel like I'm going to die if I don't. The goblin desperately needed a way to relieve his hatred and grief. So what happened to the fox? Despite the injustice, her anger, her despair, the fox had no way to fight. What happened to the fox who had to endure the endless cycles of unjustified resentment and vain failure? She made this choice. The goblin desperately needed a way to relieve his hatred and grief. So what happened to the fox who had to endure the endless cycles of unjustified resentment and failure in vain, which said, arg damn it, Lee said, ha! Don't you get tired of this? 1988. The fox was no longer interested in tearing Jumlai's body apart. Instead, she refocused her energy into killing the goblin. Is there something wrong with your head? Why go for my hand when you could go for my neck? Which said, did you consider that I may have a plan? Did you consider that I may have a plan? For some reason, after the fox started attacking the goblin instead of going after the body of his love, the goblin completely removed the confinement spell on her room. Arga! I failed again! How the hell is he so sharp? Do you really think I'd go for your neck when I know there's no way I could break it? Do you think I'm stupid? I just don't want to let you get away with an easy death. I can't go for your neck and kill you in one go. I'll start with your extremities. I'll take you out bit by bit and give you a real taste of halala. I'm gonna hit this waterfall so hard it'll flow backwards. And how to catch 100 fish in 10 seconds. Letting them go without eating them will teach me patience. I'll turn this rock into sand. Mountains need rocks to look good. I'll let you go this time. Meanwhile, Lee thinking, that fox, her training, or whatever it is, she never seems to tire of it. Regardless, it's good she's changed her focus from Jumlai to me instead. I was getting tired of bullying her, and I didn't really want to keep her under that confinement spell until she grew her 9th tail. Mr. Yu went to his girlfriend, wet the cloth, and started wiping her mouth. Man said, I don't usually say things like this, but did you know, sometimes I regret telling you how to preserve that girl? I know you're using some pretty shady techniques, and that she's pretty, but I thought you just wanted to use her for ornamental purposes or something. Mr. Lee, smoking, said, Who knew you'd be an idiot who'd risk his life just to stop time for a human who's already dead? It's stupid to keep cutting short your life to try and revive her, when she's just going to die before you again anyway, Lee said. I know it very well, Lee, thinking. Still, I want Jumlai to live out the rest of the time she was supposed to enjoy. Maybe not all the time she has left will be happy. Maybe she'll suffer through pain and failures, and will have to say a lot of goodbyes. Maybe she'll leave me, and meet a new friend or lover to spend the rest of her life with. It doesn't matter. I just want to give back the time that was stolen from her, Mr. Lee said. She may have lived out her destined time already. That's why she was killed by foxes. Sorry. I let my mouth run away from me again. I will definitely save you. I'm already halfway there. I've managed to keep that fox for 30 years so far without too much problem. The next 30 years will be just the same, Lee, thinking. I don't know why she turned her attention from Jumlai to me, but you keep getting my hopes up. That with a little more time, you might actually kill me. Just a little bit more, you're so close. Just try one more time. Don't make me give up that hope that you may, one day, actually kill me. May you spend the last 30 years of your life trying to kill me. A single rose, if I pin it on your lapel. It suits you so well. It's so dazzling I can't look at you straight. Oh, Jumlai's Lunar New Year dress ready. It finally happened. I got a car, Lee, thinking. I'll use you to pick up Jumlai's clothes right away. SP Spark. Huh, that's weird. Am I dreaming? Thinking. There's no way that ancient rockfish could pull off this kind of technical attack. Do you have any idea how much that car you blew to smithereens cost me? Lee said. Attacking me is one thing, but why the hell did you have Tio touch my car? I don't even want to look at you. Stay in there. 10,001 per day for the value of the car. Asterisk, the witch shouted. So you're going to lock me up again? You damn fish-eyed piece of shit. Google started banging on the door in anger, witch thinking. That explosion was an absolute masterpiece. There is no way I could have thought of it by myself. The witch fell to the ground and said, 1 day for every 10,001? Pretty human, what the hell did you like about him? Is there even anything to like? The witch said. Wait, maybe the goblin is the only one who believed they loved each other. I wouldn't put it past him with his ego. By the way, how much does a car cost? How many days am I going to be stuck here? 450 days later. After the rhyme, Mr. Lee appeared before the witch. The witch tried to charm Mr. Lee with a magic object, but Mr. Lee gave him a strong blow and knocked him to the ground. Lee said, I'm finally setting you free, aren't I? Why can't you just stay quiet? The witch began to stare at him with piercing eyes. Mr. Lee started to drag the witch towards the flying bread, but the witch tried, and Mr. Lee knocked her to the ground with the force of his foot. The witch began to make loud sounds as if in pain and said, You fucking bastard, Lee said. That attack again? Don't you ever learn, or is your brain the size of a bean? There is no way that a fox with its tails cut off can defeat a goblin. If your brain is that full of rocks, go try rolling stones instead. I gotta admit though, blowing up the car was a stroke of genius. All out of good ideas? The witch said. Just go and die, witch thinking. My arms feel so weak. It feels like my body is falling apart. Damn it. It's fine, it's not that I'm in pain, I'm just worn out. I can handle it. When I blew up the car, when I shot the arrow, when I tried to decapitate him, every time I tried to kill him, that bastard, he only ever looked down at me like I was a worthless piece of shit and never tried to fight back. When he saw that Mr. Lee was asleep, he picked up a strong rope and wrapped it around Mr. Lee's neck, squeezing it tightly. Mr. Lee began to tremble, which said, Think you can avoid it gracefully like you have my other attacks? Go on, try it, you jerk. Why do you only defend against my attacks? Lee began to try to free himself from the rope around his neck. Lee said, You asking because you really don't know? Finally, Mr. Lee freed his neck from the witch's rope. Lee said, Again. You failed again, Fox. Why don't I avoid your attacks, you ask? Losing is only an option when your opponent can actually fight. So there's no real point in fighting back. Right? Witch said angrily. I will never give up. Punch the waterfall. Break the boulder. Once I build up more strength, I'll pound in that goblin's head. I'll pound in that goblin's head. Then I'll swipe off his head with one swing. I'm pooped. Ha! How nice would it be if I were a tiger? If I were a tiger, I wouldn't have to suffer like this. If I were a tiger, I wouldn't have been taken prisoner by a goblin because of a stupid fox marble in the first place. Witch thinking, fox, fox, fox. It's funny. Even when I lived with my fox clan, I was never treated like a fox. Why do yokai foxes eat human livers? Why do yokai foxes eat human livers? Fox are talking. What's the point in becoming human? Seriously, humans have such large egos. Why does the whole world assume that everyone wants to become human? Then why do foxes eat human livers? It's like taking supplements. Fox asks another fox. You should try it. It will make your coat glossy. If you eat it periodically, your tails grow faster. Goodness, I'm surprised all the humans haven't been killed off yet. Another fox said. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. They taste awful. Even if you wanted to eat them every day, you couldn't anyway. Yokai have rules for these things. We can only hunt humans when the moon is at its biggest and fullest, a supermoon. We call that day our big hunt, a precious event that only occurs once every decade or so. Usually, yokai foxes like to live independently, but during these events we gather. We come together and pick a designated area to hunt humans. That way, the hunt is clean, and there's less mess to clean up later. A big, exciting hunt, Witch said. But there are some foxes that hate the big hunt. It's true. I'm one of them. But if you have strong powers, you have to attend, because the more tails you have, the easier it is to catch humans. I can only pretend to be a fool and make excuses for so long. I know, I get it. It's the duty of a fox with many tails to go. There are other obligations. Surely I can do something else. Why do I have to fulfill my duties by being a part of the big hunt? Of course, this is the biggest event amongst yokai foxes. Hunting humans for their livers is very important for foxes who want to grow extra tails, Witch said. But still, if they really want human livers that much, they should just get them on their own. But I know that the problem just goes away. The world we live in is complex. There is no one right answer to any problem. There are many sides, subtle nuances, and perspectives to consider. In the wrong place at the wrong time is a common saying. It was a rare supermoon, and a lot of yokai foxes had just happened to gather together. As the big hunt was a rare event, the young foxes were particularly excited and motivated. And so Witch said, I don't want to hunt humans. Honu, who complained and shouted, was hated as much as damp clothes, wet from the rain. There's no point in trying to sugarcoat it. That is just how it was. Honu used to think it was because she was born with 7 tails that the others were upset and resentful. Traitor. 2 would whisper to each other. Traitor. Another would whisper. Traitor. Again and again, until it became an accusation. Traitor. Honu is a traitor, Witch said. What? And she thinking, are you all bullying me together now, just because I won't hunt humans? I'll show you what a real traitor looks like. Ever since then, at my own risk, I've been sabotaging the plans of my people. Why do I have to do something that I hate doing? And whenever I tried to interfere, I was beaten and restrained. That human, why did she have to go back to the village? Didn't I warn her not to go? What's the point of thinking about it now? It's already in the past. For some reason, my mind keeps coming back to one word. It used to be traitor. Now it's enemy. Haha, he's not even my enemy. Fox. The witch started running in anger. Witch said, all you say is fox, fox. Just thinking about you makes me angry. I swear I'll shut you up. This whole situation makes me so mad. You're dead, you dumb goblin. A few days later, Lee thinking, something seems off? Lee thinking, something seems off? I know. It's too quiet. She's not here. What's going on? Well, I guess I'm more surprised she had the energy to come here and do whatever she was doing every day. She's not sick, is she? I never thought about her health until now. But it won't affect the development of her fox marble if she's unhealthy, will it? She was so energetic up until a few days ago, so how can she get ill all of a sudden? Why does she always end up bothering me one way or another? Witch said, that's all that I need you to do for today. I'll take the meal myself. I need to check on that fox, Lee said. I know you're in there. I'm opening the door. The vivid fury in her eyes was exactly the same. It was almost as if she hadn't spent the last 36 years in captivity. Nothing about that has changed since the first day she arrived at my house. Haha, you're holding up in here because you're planning something, right? That's good. Anyhow, I don't really care what you're up to. Just keep doing whatever you want, Lee said. Fox. It's nice that you're consistent, at least. You make it easy to hate you. Mr. Lee's original name, Honu. My name is Honu, the witch said. Being born with 7 tails, I was expected to live for the clan, but I didn't know how to properly live as a multi-tailed fox, and ended up becoming an outcast, Lee said. The only reason why I'm in front of you right now is because I'm an outcast. They used me as a scapegoat, Lee said, to save themselves from you, Lee said. I just wanted you to know that. I know I'm your enemy, a fox who will help grant your wish, Witch said, but I wanted you to at least know the name of the one who you'll kill for your wish. 1995. Will I be able to withstand the pain if I use medicine? Witch said. Oh? I'm sure I threw it in here, Witch said. Found it. A hiker's backpack that Honu found some time ago. Witch thinking. I don't really know what all this means, Witch asked. Anyway, he deals with all kinds of pain and stuff, right? Then it should be fine. I'm definitely leaving this shitty house for good today. I put your tails in my goblin box and swallowed the key. If you want to get your tails back and escape from here, you'll have to kill me first. Do your best, Fox. Witch thinking. Lee/Honu thinking. Back to your normal, ghostly goblin self. Fuck you, you bastard. I hate to admit it, but it's impossible for me to get the key right now. Will I be able to withstand the pain if I use medicine? And how often will I have to take it until I get used to the pain of being away from my 8 tails? Witch thinking. Let's just get away from this mountain for now. I need to get out of here and find some help. If I try to escape dozens of times, even hundreds of times, will I ever get used to the pain? Meanwhile, in a town nearby. I may? Man said. What brings you here? By any chance, did that fox cause another problem? Lee asked. She's such a pain. Is she still trying to kill you? Lee replied. Not anymore. Man asked. That's great. Then what's the problem? Jumlai's body is no longer breaking down, and that fox is no longer trying to kill you. She started trying to run away. Huh! But aren't her fox tails in your goblin box? How can she run away? Mr. Lee, taking a tea, said. She's grasping at straws and not thinking things through. All she's doing is trying. She comes back every time, unable to withstand the pain, but she still tries to escape again. The fox tries to change her path and the speed of her steps, but it still ends up the same way. Man said seriously. Aren't you worried? What if she eventually succeeds? What if she gets used to the pain and gains what do you call it? An immunity? She comes back every time, unable to withstand the pain, but she still tries to escape again. The fox tries to change her path and the speed of her steps, but it still ends up the same way. Man said. Aren't you worried? What if she eventually succeeds? What if she gets used to the pain and gains what do you call it? An immunity? Lee said. I thought that too at first, but it seems the amount of time she's able to endure actually gets shorter and shorter. I don't think that fool has noticed yet, though. It means that foxes can't become accustomed to the pain of being away from their tails. The shorter endurance time means that it must eat away at her life force, so the pain becomes harder and harder for her to handle as time goes on. Man said. Then I guess you don't need to worry about her running away. Though if she continues to try, it may delay her ability to create a fox marble. Exactly. That's why I came to you today. I need you to find a way to make the fox grow her last tail quicker. There's no need for that. There is one sure way that everyone knows, Lee said. Forget about using human livers, Man replied. Why do you have to make everything so difficult? Man said again. Just stop letting that fox do whatever she wants in the first place. He continued. Just numb her consciousness. I wonder why you didn't do it in the first place? All that fox needs to do is stay healthy until she grows her 9th tail. Isn't that right? What do you think? Lee replied. No, Man said. Why not? It doesn't make sense. Aren't you worried about the fox delaying the growth of her 9th tail? Why do you keep letting that fox do all those stupid things for no good reason? Mr. Lee thinking. Of course, it's because, well, isn't it obvious? It's because it's amusing. I thought there was only one idiot here, but it seems there are 2. That question stumped me like a fool. Why couldn't I answer right away? Mr. Lee thinking. What's wrong with these vines? Did something just move? Am I imagining things? I think I've been too sensitive lately. Whether it's hundreds or thousands of times, I need to be careful. I need to preserve her body until I can get my hands on a fox marble. It doesn't matter what it is. There's a protective spell over her body. There's nothing to be worried about. Lee looked back and started thinking. Surely I'm just being paranoid. Surely I'm just being paranoid. I am right? I've been feeling dizzy since earlier, so I came here. But it's only getting worse. I'm sorry you have to see me like this. I'll come back when I feel better. Goodbye. Only the God of life, death, and fate knows what wanderings this soul has undertaken to be able to appear here in such a radiant form. She met an untimely death by mischievous means, leaving her wounded, angry, regretful, consumed by injustice and fear. Her negative emotions converged into a vicious storm, and for a long time, only the indifferent God knew where her soul was bound, alone in the dark earth. Only Imi's love, which he had poured upon Jumlai with his whole heart, saved her soul from sinking into the darkest abyss. When her soul encountered that love in the darkness, only then did her wandering cease. Even though her soul was finally able to fly, it was painful to brave the cold, the harsh wind, and the rain. Feelings of regret, anger, injustice, and fear still painfully pounded against her bruised heart, until finally, the storm of her emotions calmed at last. However, as she was about to fly to the afterlife and wait for him, once again, she found herself bound to the earth, in a cave along the path they used to take together, a secret only her soul and that indifferent God knew of. Jumlai wanted to spread her wings and fly into the arms of death, bravely, just as she once had bravely tried to jump off a cliff. She wanted to jump into death toward her next life, but she couldn't yet. Jumlai needed to wait. She needed to wait until the love that was piled up in her cave, the lingering love that had begun to spoil, from repeatedly refusing to let her go, finally began to move. A few days later, Witch said, "You seem busy, you bastard." Recently, it seems like the Goblin has been preparing to move out. Witch thinking, but why? And where? It's not my job to care. I'm going to escape from here today. He got the car fixed and drove away. Mr. Lee thinking, it's 11:30. The fox probably left right after I did. So if I head back now, she should be back soon. So he took his car home, prepared his food in his kitchen, and went to sleep in his room. Which, God damn it! Damn it! Are you telling me I can't run away? Even though he's not monitoring me anymore? Is it that obvious to him that I can't run away, no matter how hard I try? Damn it! I'm gonna kill you! Now and again, there were times when the fox did not return at the expected hour, and Imi would have to go out personally to look for her. He would follow the traces of her pain, such as the bushes bent from her struggles, and the trails of her vomit behind trees, until he inevitably found her lying unconscious on the ground. Why did you push yourself this hard again? When I left the house, I saw that the witch was lying unconscious on the ground, and the gentleman picked her up on his shoulder and carried her away. Man said, why do you keep letting that fox do those stupid things for no reason? Mr. Lee started walking and said, what? When the witch regained consciousness, she saw herself inside the prison and said, why? Why don't you just leave me there? As a punishment for trying to escape? Isn't that what you want? Why do you bother? Just leave me there next time. You damn goblin, Mr. Lee said. I wasn't bringing you back. I was bringing my fox marble back. Man's name is Manju, Mr. Lee said to Manju on the phone. Hey Manju, you know that house I looked at last time? I want to buy it right away, Manju replied. You mean the house with the weird atmosphere? Are you sure you're okay with that? Places where gods have died are so eerie. Do you know how many land gods and spirits inhabit places like that these days? It's true, you know. And isn't all of this a bit sudden? What's going on? Wow. Really, Imi? Puts down the phone. Time continued to flow heartlessly like a river. The fox, the witch, came back alive and started running away. And she continued to run away. Year 2000. She didn't run away anymore. Instead of trying to run away, the fox, Lee said, I'm going to work now. Well, are you going to be like that again all day long? He said, extending his hand. Hey, fox, damn it, she did nothing at all.